of motion on the report of the Committee on County Public Accounts, on report of the Office of Auditor General on Nyandarua County, respectively for the year ended 30th June 2025 by the Chief Chair. On statements, Honorable Speaker, we are getting a general statement on the rates of gender-based violence in Nyandarua County, sponsored by Honorable Shasha Sarah Omai, Council Member on motions and bills, Honorable Speaker, we'll be getting a motion on the report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on audited financial operations of Rui, Shaudi, Kahoro, Kanyagia, and Gorika Vocational Training Centers for the year ended 30 June 2025, which will be both procedural and substantive motion. Honorable Speaker, from Honorable Dan Candidate Chairman, the Public Committee on County Public Accounts. We'll also be getting another motion that is procedural and substantive motion on the report of the Office of Auditor General on Nyandarua County Sector Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project TC2 for the year ended 30 June 2025. We'll be getting the following papers, that is the report of the Committee on Public Service, Administration and Devolution on Nyandarua County Government of Nyandarua, on the County Government of Nyandarua, Kenya Devolution. We'll also be getting another paper, that is the report of the Committee on Physical Planning and Housing and Urban Development on Maidunya Municipality Annual Report and financial statements for the year ended, for the financial year ended, that is June 2025, sponsored by Honorable John Diogashino, the Public Committee now for the Council. On notices of motion, Honorable Speaker, we'll be getting the following notice of motion on the report of the Committee on annual report and financial statement for the year that ended up June 2025 in quarter E. Hii unapopita wazungu Kamau na public committee on the decision of position. All motions and bills, Honorable Speaker, we'll be having the following motion on the report of the Committee on Council Public Accounts and investment on Olokara municipality and Maidunya municipality for the year ended, that is June 2025, which will be both procedural and substantive motion. For the committee Honorable Speaker, last bill in the morning hours, that is morning session, will be adding up to the motion, the report of the as soon as PM will be having the following papers, that is report of the committee and physical planning on Nyandarua County Second Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, that is TC2, annual report and financial statement for the year that ended that is June 2025. Was John Bashiro, Chairperson Committee on Physical Planning, last Honorable Speaker, on motions and bills. Honorable Speaker, on motion, we getting a motion on board by the Committee on Education, Professional Training,
thought is well explained.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable. Yes, Honorable Matimo, what is it?
Mr. Speaker, the chair, Pickpack, has just sick leave, but he didn't give an explanation as to why he's seeking this leave on the said report. He didn't tell the House whether the reports are not ready or what is the matter at hand. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Steve, if you are keen enough, you'll notice that he gave a reason that for the committee to adopt the report. So that, and the leave sort is well explained. So it's deserving. I give it, and so I grant it as sought. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have a notice to given by Honorable Duncan Githinji Chege, Chairperson, Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment.
Honorable Duncan Githinji Chege, Committee Chairperson on Public Accounts and Investments. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to give the notice of the following motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on the County Public Account and Investment Committee on the report on audited financial operation of Kangoe, Shauri, Kahoro, Kanyagi and Gurika Vocational Training Center for the year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of this House and the recommendation therein as a resolution of the House. And the table, Mr. Speaker.
Notice of motion is duly given, and the same shall be processed as directed by the House Business Committee, pursuant to Standing Order 157.5D. Next order.
Order number 7, following your directions, Mr. Speaker, sir, we proceed to order number 7 on statements. We have a general statement by Honorable Sasha Sarange Maomai, County Member from Leshapondo Ward.
Honorable Sasha Saragima Omai, county member from Leshapondo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm going to read a statement on the rise of gender-based violence in Nyandarua County. Honorable Speaker, I rise today with a heavy heart to condemn in the strongest terms possible the alarming rise in gender-based violence against girls and women in Nyandarua County. And Honorable Speaker, allow me to also add even men. Young men are also endangered in this gender-based violence. In the recent past, our county has witnessed deeply disturbing incidences, including cases of domestic violence resulting in loss of life, defilement of young girls, and brutal assault on women within their own homes. These are not isolated occurrences, rather they reflect a dangerous and escalating pattern that demands urgent and decisive intervention. Honorable Speaker, there exists a clear and robust legal framework that unequivocally outlaws all forms of gender violence. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 is explicit. Under Article 27, it guarantees the equality and freedom from discrimination, including on basis of sex. Article 28 affirms the inherent dignity of every person. Article 29 protects every individual from all forms of violence, inhuman or degrading treatment, and Article 53, 1D guarantees every child the right to protection from abuse and violence. The constitutional guarantees are reinforced by statute. The Sexual Offences Act of 2006, this act criminalizes rape and defilement. The Protection Against Domestic Violence Act 2015, it protects from protection, provides for protection orders and safeguards for survivors, while the Penal Code Cap 63 criminalizes offenses including murder and assault causing bodily harm. Our courts have equally spoken with clarity. We have case law in the Republic versus Mohammed Said Abdul and another case of 2013. It is under the Kenya law reports. The court affirmed that the state bears a duty to protect vulnerable persons and must act decisively to uphold their dignity and security. In another case law, and Paul Ndenya versus Republic, a case of 2018, under the Kenya law reports, it was held that no relationship, none whatsoever, can be used as a shield against accountability for sexual violence. Honorable Speaker, most of the perpetrators of these heinous acts are even the closest. They are family members, they are neighbors, they are people you call friends. And so that is why the law is very clear in saying and safeguarding that no kind of relationship is excused from this accountability for sexual violence. Further, Honorable Speaker, in the case of CK, a child who was a minor, through Ripples International versus Commissioner of Police and others, a case of 2013 under the Kenya law reports, the court underscored that the law does not permit the state to stand by failure to protect children is itself a violation of the Constitution. Remember, the Constitution is very keen on the children's rights. Honorable Speaker, despite this strong legal framework, the reality on the ground tells us a painful, unacceptable story. Allow me to cite a few examples that have shaken our communities, and one was the late Monica Modhoni, and these are just but a few examples. The late Monica Modhoni of Kinangop and the late Maureen Nyaboke of Olkalau, both allegedly murdered by their spouses, and the late Wanjiro from Oljorok, allegedly killed by her boyfriend. Equally heartbreaking are the cases of young girls, Daisy Wamboi, Tabitha Wanjiro, may their souls rest in peace, and Maureen from Kinangop, Oljorok, and Olkalau, respectively, who were defiled and brutally murdered in cold blood. Honorable Speaker, it's very sad when the lives of such young promising leaders and the potential that they had will not be realized because of such grave concerns or maybe actions from indisciplined characters. Daisy, a grade 5 pupil, was allegedly murdered by her uncle. A suspect is currently in custody and in connection with Tabitha's murder, while no arrest has been made in the case of Maureen and Mugumo in Rurie Ward. Honorable Speaker, to note, there has never been a clear way of getting justice. There is this is a serious systemic failure, and also a judicial failure. There is never a clear ending to these cases and to these incidences, whether judicial-wise or maybe through our security institutions. Not all victims lose their lives. Some survive but remain deeply scarred. In Oljorok, 2 girls were reported raped on their way to school. In Olkalau, a woman was assaulted on her way home to Huruma Estates in Kaibaga Ward. In another disturbing case, a young woman was allegedly assaulted by her own brother at Captain Center. Further, reports by National Crime Research Center and the Kenya Demographic and Health Survey rank Nyandarua County. Honorable Speaker, this is very sad, among the leading counties nationally in cases of domestic violence, and an indictment that we must confront with urgency. Honorable Speaker, these heinous acts are being committed in spaces where safety should be guaranteed. Honorable Speaker, this is within homes, communities, schools. This is not merely a criminal issue. It is a constitutional violation and a societal crisis. I therefore call upon the relevant bodies, first, the National Police Service and the Office of Director of Public Prosecution to ensure swift, thorough, and survivor-sensitive investigations and prosecutions. Second, the county government of Nyandarua, particularly the departments of health and social services, to establish safe houses, strengthen rescue systems, and provide psychosocial support to survivors. Third, the judiciary to prioritize, expedite gender-based violence cases, to expedite efficiently gender-based violence cases, independent commissions, including the National Gender and Equality Commissions and the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, to intensify oversight and accountability. Teachers, school heads, and parents to safeguard our children. Remember, these are the caregivers. When the children are out there, the teachers take the mantle of caregivers, and so they should be vigilant. We have the chiefs who are in our locations, the Nyumba Kumi leaders, and I think the Nyumba Kumi establishment was to ensure security is met, and so they need to be vigilant on the same issues because they know who lives within any certain area, and they should know who the perpetrators are, or if there are any strangers, they should be quick to report to the authorities, and community elders to act as the first line of protection. Honorable Speaker, when these things are orchestrated, there are always signs. It doesn't just happen from the blues. And so, Honorable Speaker, the vigilance of all these stakeholders is very, very important at this juncture. Religious institution to challenge harmful norms and break the culture of silence. Honorable Speaker, we have a serious menace in the society whereby the statistics we have is barely what has been reported. But in real sense, there are people who have been violated and they have not had the guts or the confidence to come out and maybe report these cases. So you find that slowly we create a culture that entertains these harmful norms and entertains these violences, because what can you do? We are not finding justice, mutadu. That is the kind of vibe we get, and that is why you have seen an outcry from various people in the public, calling out and speaking out that the time is now. We need to fight this issue once and for all. The civil society and the media to amplify survivor voices and sustain accountability. So the media, and especially whether social media, and I'm glad that this conversation has been going on. There is a petition that has been brought to this House. I will not dwell on it because it is with the relevant committees. But that is a great, it's a vigilante move to show that even the public is concerned and they can see truly there is a gap in this issue. Lastly, the men and boys to rise as active defenders of dignity and safety. Safety begins with us, Honorable Speaker, and the men and the gentlemen, both in this house and outside, let us be the defenders of dignity and safety for our girls, women, and even our young boys who are not able to defend themselves at the hand of these violators. Honorable Speaker, I call upon this House and all stakeholders to support Kiondo Gyasasha, a movement for protection and dignity. Honorable Speaker, this is a movement. There is an initiative, just like we have foundations. There is a program I'm bringing on that is called Kiondo Gyasasha. Through Kiondo Gyasasha, we are building more than a program. We are building a movement for protection, dignity, and economic empowerment where no woman suffers in silence and no girl walks in fear. This is our collective basket, a basket that must carry safety, justice, and hope for every woman and every girl in Nyandarua County. Let us rise, us as leaders, as the members of this noble house, parents, institutions, and communities alike, and declare with one voice, not in our homes, not in our villages, and not in Nyandarua. Honorable Speaker, the time for action is now. I thank you. Honorable Speaker, just to add, verbally or orally, and before I proceed, it is bad manners when you have guests, you have to recognize them. I want to recognize the youth of Nyandarua County Assembly, mirroring this great house. I am glad you came to witness what we do in this house. And this is a great initiative. We all started there. We have been in these youth initiatives for the longest, and it is not in vain that you have come together. I am the deputy minority leader. I didn't see the minority side from your presentation. Is there a minority side? You're all in government. Who is the minority leader? Through the chair. Through the chair, I didn't see a minority leader, but I serve in this house as the deputy minority leader, and I'm also in the speakers panel. I happened to see a few of the panelists, and one advice I'd have for you is that you focus on the real issues affecting the youth. You know, you might feel like you're maybe just coming together for the sake of it, but just know that is a great step. Make sure you build credibility. The youth will be watching what you do. Just don't just have a good name that is relatable. Have effective moves that will talk about the things affecting the youth, which is the job issues, the issues about mental health, the issues about opportunities and the funding of programs that are youth tailored. Stay united despite the political opinions and differences. Use social media. We are in an digital era. Use social media to shape positive narratives and visibility. Don't just stop at attending this assembly. Let you be seen. Let this be a first move, but let us hear your voices out there, advocating for the young people, advocating for these issues such as gender-based. They are not affecting only older people. This is an issue that you should hold to heart. And also, Honorable Speaker, the issues, I think these great leaders have a great future. And what you are doing now, think long term. Think what you will become in the next election. Go for these seats. Go for leadership position in various capacities, whether in campus or wherever you are. Again, remember, moving without purpose, without discipline, and people-driven, you will not go far. So ensure that you observe all that. I wish you the very best, and that is a great initiative. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I just want to say that much can be said. Much has, it looks like a norm that we talk about gender-based violence, but at this point, this is now a systemic crisis that is not just affecting our girls and women. It is also affecting our young men, and these cases are on the increase. Only that some are left, unrecorded. If left unchecked, it threatens the social and economic stability of our county. We cannot be working on one side when the people we are working for are bending on the other side. The prevalence, as I have said, is real, and it is underreported. Mr. Speaker, this is not just a gender issue, it is a development issue. And women, when women are abused, there is a breakdown in the family. When girls are abused, we have dropouts, we have early pregnancies, we have unconfident girls, and we lose the future of these young leaders. And when our youths are exposed to violence, cycles of crime and instability are reinforced. So when nothing is done, then we'll still have these crimes going on. Systemic gaps. One is the limited access on safe shelters and rescue centers. We need to have these and well-funded for that case. In that case, weak coordination between health services, police, and the legal systems. We have to have these systems working together. The legal, the police, and the health services, because every document is relevant in the other step. Inadequate funding for GBV prevention and response programs. And this one, I would also urge the county member of parliament. They have a kitty that can put more effort in ensuring that they cover in the way they can within the budget the gender-based violence prevention and response programs. We don't just empower groups. Let us also look at the social effects of things left unchecked. And the last is cultural norms that normalize or excuse violences. The gap that shows that the issue is not lack of awareness, it is lack of structure and sustained action. Final is my position is just, this is not just a women issue, it is a leadership issue. If we are serious about transforming Nyandarua, Honorable Speaker, then protecting the dignity, safety, and the future of our people must be non-negotiable. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And if this great county finds me noble enough to lead them as the county member of parliament in the next dispensation, this will not just be a talk in the county assemblies, but in the national platforms, you know, in the national platforms, from the National Assembly, cascading down to the least and most grassroots level of institutions that, you know, deal with these gender-based issues. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this time, and thank you, Honorable members, for listening in.
Very well. The general statement is duly given, and also congratulations for founding a movement for protection and dignity for the victims. Maybe we may have members contribute, and we have majority leader. You may start. Member for Kaibaga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm so much happy and so much elated this morning from the statement that has arose from Honorable Shasha. Indeed, this is a menace. I'm so much happy because I never knew in terms of percentage how the whole issue, GBV, is affecting this county. But I'm glad because, you know, data don't lie. When you speak about a certain percentage that we are leading in GBV, then this is an issue that should raise a concern for every leader, every Nyandarua within this county. Honorable Speaker, indeed, we have witnessed within Kaibaga ward what she has said, and it is sad. You know, some of these things, you never imagine that they will happen. Remember, there is a little girl from Lorie who was raped and killed. This is a menace that we cannot afford as leaders within this country to keep silent on. Honorable Speaker, as leaders who are there today to be counted, and as an assembly, we must come up with a solution on the same. And this is why I've said we are very much glad, Shasha, that you have brought this statement. We cannot keep silent because on matters of GBV, it is an issue which is totally affecting the whole society. The whole society must respond. They must show commitment to make sure that some of these things, which are hard even to mention, are not happening within our society. Honorable Speaker, now that it has been documented, it is now upon everyone within this county to make sure that whatever area that he is in, he is playing a role to make sure that we suppress and make sure some of these things happening are not happening. Honorable Speaker, the effect of GBV is so diverse. When we look at the trickle-down effect, let's make assumption that your mother has been raped. As you are looking at her as a child, what will happen in future? Either way, if you are a man, you might adopt that it is a good deed, or later in life, you might even leave age. When you are of age, you might also leave age because what you saw, which has been living with you throughout your life, is not so good at the eyes of a human being and at the eyes of God. So when we look at the trickle-down effect, the effect to the society, these are issues that are a total mess. You get a woman who has been raped. She has been infected with HIV. Some of them are messed up the lower side. So we cannot keep silent on this. We cannot keep silent on this. And more so, more so as leaders. So, Honorable Speaker, I'm glad because the issue now has come out properly within this country. I don't believe most of the leaders here knew that we are also leading in GBV. We have now what we call when such an issue has been discussed at the floor of the House, and this has been spread within the county. Honorable Speaker, what we'll be getting will also be fighting with stigma, because there are some people who are very silent. They are dying silently. Some are dying silently within their homes. Some of the kids are also dying silently because of the effect of GBV. So I'm so much happy, and I'm looking forward to see on what will come up from this statement, because as you have pronounced yourself that you have a forum to address on the same. I think as leaders, either way, directly from the coffers of the county, or from ourselves as individuals, we shall support that idea that you have. So, in this, Honorable Speaker, I totally support. And lastly, I say we are very much happy today because the young men and women are within this House as we are discussing this menace, and you know, for them, they are very knowledgeable on matters of keyboard. So I'm hoping today they'll be highlighting the topic of this menace when they settle back at home. But let me lastly say that we are totally resonating very well with the rallying call which is coming out from the young men and women of this country, and it is too Kokadi. We resonate so much well, and we are glad that you are also pushing an idea that everyone should have, who is of age, should have a voting card, and we are very much happy. So keep on moving, and make sure that as we take this county to the higher level, you also have a role that you also be playing in this. With that, I totally support. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kongo, member for Wajohi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me first to congratulate Honorable Shasha Wamai for such a detailed general statement. And Honorable Speaker, sometimes when I sit in this assembly, I also ask myself, what is the way forward? Because Honorable Shasha has come up very clearly, showing data, telling us, even citing examples, and we agree, we are all aware, some of these issues has been in the media. And it's for sure we are reading when it comes to issues of gender violence. Honorable Speaker, when I look at this general statement, because for me, I like looking at the solutions. There are very serious underlying issues within our community that really need to be addressed. But even as we address the moral decay within our community, because we have serious moral decay within the members of the community, there is what we can do as leaders within the county. And Honorable Shasha, I would like to call and to take this matter back to you. That at this level, you have been able to raise the voice in this House. I know it's the hazard, we are online, and so many other leaders are listening, are coming up with these issues, and they are feeling you. But to take this matter forward, Honorable Speaker, because we know the tools that have been provided to us through the standing orders, I would call Honorable Shasha Wamai to lobby the members of this county assembly to do a petition. There are various government institutions that we need to petition, because we don't want this matter to end at this level. And you know, Honorable Speaker, in the past we have petitioned the Senate, we have petitioned the National Assembly, and I feel that we need, first of all, not as Shasha Wamai, because now the general statements become a property of this House. Being led by Honorable Member Shasha Wamai, we can raise a petition to the Nyandarua County Security Team. We need to start there first. we tell them, because you are the chair, the county commissioner is the chair, and the other members, including our governor, because he sits in the Nyandarua National Security Team. We need to tell them this is the data, and they even know better than us, because they have the data. Because these matters are reported within the police station, they know the data. What are you doing about this issue? So that we can make it a matter to be discussed at the Nyandarua County Security Team. We need that matter to be discussed and to be given a priority, and we can follow up. Because we don't have the powers, Honorable Speaker, to command the police service to act today. We may not have such powers as a house. So maybe what we can do here is to discuss, but we may not have that direct power. But when we petition the security team, now we start acting because they have the ability now to ask the OCPDs and the OC, what are you doing? And then they also have an issue to deal with the chiefs and assistants, because most of these issues, when they happen, and this is the most agonizing thing, whenever there are rape cases, there are kangaroo courts that happens within our community. You realize that the parents of the victim meet with the perpetrators and they agree on some ransom that is paid there, which is a serious violation of human rights, Honorable Speaker. And who can be able to deal with this? The county commissioner through the chiefs, through the Nyumba Kumi. First of all, they need to strike these issues of kangaroo court, because the reason why in Nyandarua we are reading, it is a matter of kangaroo court. These sayings, I quote, that is why you are here in case of any cause happening at the community. So we need, first of all, to deal with these kangaroo courts. So we need a petition. We can also petition the judiciary. We have a magistrate courts here. Even the High Court, we can petition. We tell them these are very serious. How many cases, criminal cases do you have? What is your cause list? How are you dealing? What are the status of these cases? So that, because we need to hear their ruling. People are jailed for this case, so that we can be a remedy to deter other people who think that they can do this and go scot-free. We need to petition people like the Royal Society of Kenya. We need them to have a unit where they can be able to provide pro bono services to the victims, Honorable Speaker. You know, I was thinking about this matter when the civil society brought a petition here requesting us to scrap the charges for post-mortem for the murder cases resulting from rape. And I was asking ourselves, surely, is this the best thing we can do as a county, to scrap a fee after murder? How would we be able to deal with the issue before it happens? I would think that would be better than even talking of scrapping of a fee after that. So, Honorable Speaker, I call upon Honorable Shasha Wamai. I'll be in the front line myself. I'll give you my support. Let's do a petition, as we did to the Senate, directed to the relevant authority, the security team, the judiciary, the Human Rights Commission, and others. Then, again, push for we have a gender department in this county. Can you push for funding? When you don't raise these issues, what are the programs within our county? Because we have a CCM, we have a department that deals with the issues of gender. What is their budget? How much money are they setting aside? Such cases, when they arise, they are able to come in. Or they are even able to educate our people. Because you also need to do some kind of county-wide education so that we can be able to talk to our people, we can be able to enlighten our people on what to do. Because some of these cases, even when they happen, some of people don't know how to respond. Others are so shy, they are scared, they can't even report these matters to the police station. So how do we organize? And how do we push for budgeting? I am speaking as a chairman budget, but we need proposals and a push because we know resources are limited. But with the kind of petition that we'll be able to do at the department and also at the budget committee, we'll be able to seek and push for this, and it will be oversighted by this House. Honorable Speaker, I have a lot of issues that I may speak, but because of time, I want to thank you for this matter. And I would tell the members of this House, we have sisters, for those who are male counterparts like myself. We have daughters. Myself, I'm a father of 3 daughters. And I'm scared because I don't know which kind of community they are growing in. And this is an issue that can affect anybody. So we take it as a house. We push it. This is not good statistics. I don't think we should sit pretty and be comfortable when we are being told that we are leading in such kind of disgusting issue. So, Honorable Speaker, I thank you. Allow me to thank and to welcome the members of Nyandarua Youth Assembly. Welcome for coming in. I hope that you have an opportunity even to talk even after this plenary. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
We may have Honorable Steve, later Honorable Kamwana.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for granting me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I really want to thank Honorable Shasha for bringing a very emotive discussion to this Honorable House this morning. Mr. Speaker, as a nation, I think it was around the year 2021, we had purpose as a country by this year 2026. We had placed a deadline that we would have ended gender-based violence by the end of this year. But it's so unfortunate that instead of ending, Mr. Speaker, it's actually escalating. And the few cases that Honorable Shasha has just mentioned in this Honorable House this morning, it's so alarming that as a county we are leading. And I want to join hands with Honorable Kongo because I think we were in the same spirit on what he has just mentioned. That whatever we need to do as a house is we should escalate this matter to higher authorities. And when I talk to higher authorities, Mr. Speaker, is like what Honorable Kongo has just mentioned this morning, is to the relevant bodies. Because you find many at times, you find that when these people are arrested, one, some of these cases, they end at the police station. Some of these people, they bribe their way out. And those kids or those who are involved in this violence, they end up not getting their rights, Mr. Speaker. The other thing, Mr. Speaker, that we need to do as a house, and especially here in Nyandarua, it's so unfortunate, maybe like a case study. One of the incidents that Honorable Shasha has just mentioned happened in an area that I actually even mentioned to the municipal manager the other day. You find that there are areas, Mr. Speaker, that someone within our county headquarters, this person plants maize, and to be specific, is the area around JM Hospital. You find that there's a kid who was raped around that area. And this is something that we raised last year, Mr. Speaker. But you find even this particular year, the same person has gone ahead to plant the same maize where a girl going to school was actually raped. I think these are some of the things that we need to do as a house to ensure that in areas that we feel that are not protective enough to our people, in areas that we find that it's insecure, Mr. Speaker, these are areas that we need to ensure that the crops that are planted there, because you see, Mr. Speaker, if you go to around that area when the maize is of age, you will find that the area is very, very insecure, even to those people who are walking just adjacent to a walking pave that has been done by our county. Mr. Speaker, these are some of the small things that we need to start with as a county to ensure as we escalate, we shall be able to reduce the number of the gender-based violence in our area. The other thing, Mr. Speaker, is through what Honorable Shasha just mentioned, the Nyumba Kumi initiative, Mr. Speaker. I think it's our high time, as a community, we empower these people. Because many of the cases that happens in our homes, they end up within our homesteads. Because we don't want to, in quotes, but by the end of the day, those children end up suffering in silence. Because, Mr. Speaker, when a kid or a girl is raped, that thing will live to torture her the entire of her life. I had a case, Mr. Speaker, of a friend of mine. She hates men with passion. Reason? She was raped at a tender age. Mr. Speaker, to avoid this, I think it's our high time to raise to the occasion and ensure, Mr. Speaker, that we help our girls especially, and even the young boys who are suffering in silence. Mr. Speaker, as I end, I want to really thank the leaders who are together with us through you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you because of coming to this honorable house this morning to learn on the various issues that we undergo. And I'm glad that you've come to in a day that you will help us as leaders, because you are leaders in your own capacity, to ensure that some of these things we are able to escalate them even through the social media, to ensure that we are able to get we are able to get results. So as IPAT, continue working smart, continue doing what you're doing currently, and one day, where we are seated today, one day we shall be seated up there when you are down here discussing the issues that we are discussing, because the future is bright. May God bless you. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Kamwana, and then Honorable Juria.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. This morning, Honorable Speaker, allow me first to congratulate my fellow member of this Assembly, Honorable Chacha, for not only coming in with the ordinary statements that we usually bring in this floor of the House, but I'm happy to hear that we have a statement that is known as a general statement. Thank you so much. Honorable Speaker, allow me from the findings or the views of other speakers who have spoken before me, and particularly Honorable Kongo and also Honorable Matimo, how I request Honorable Sacha. I don't know whether she specifically wanted to deal with the viruses that affect the female part of our society. But I know in most cases usually the word gender usually cuts across, but from her statement she has been able to emphasize on the viruses that come against girls and women. But now that there has been sought an interference where we can be able to do petitions to other stakeholders, how I wish we can be able to include the men in this violence that affect our society. Honorable Speaker, let me give you an example of where I live or where I come from. A community or a village in Kinangop, specifically engineer, known as, it is a name that has been given to that community known as Sendemoto. And let me tell you, the violence that come there these days are the ones that are done against men. Rape against men, because the word rape cuts across. I don't know whether you can call it sodomy, but let me tell you what has been happening is the unwillful penetration of men. Men are caught by other men, and they are brought down, and they are penetrated unwillingly every day. So, in any case, Honorable Sacha, if we are going to leave these people behind, it's only that we do not report these cases. Men usually go through a lot of trauma. They don't want to tell the community that they were raped. They don't want even to show the other men that, oh, I was confronted last evening as I had taken a cut of a drink as I was going home by other men, and they were able to penetrate my anal, and in fact, I ended up in the hospital bed or something like that. At other times, the community usually perceive that men generally are the ones who commit violence to the other gender, which looks as though it is weaker. But now it has changed. We are equally being assaulted by our fellow men and even by women. It happens all the time. Like 3 days ago, there was a man who was fought by his wife, but the bad thing is that the woman was screaming very loudly. But when we went there, we found that it was the gentleman who was underneath. And in fact, by the look of the bruises that were on the face and all over, the makers, if I could, and other objects, were all of them were directed to this gentleman. But the noise and the screams that were coming, we learned there very quickly so that we could go and rescue a female. But unfortunately, the man, when even the police came, they had to carry quickly the gentleman to the facility, to Engineer Revolver Hospital. And you can see these things always happen. Okay, we also need to emphasize that the issue of sexual assaults not only affects now the penetration, but for example, the touching of the body. Sometimes even when we blink our eyes towards the other gender, we cause some kind of unnecessary cortical trauma if it can be taken to the next level. How I request Honorable Sacha, maybe from her general statement, as we cooperate now the whole House to come with the views that we can be able to address as we maybe adopt the petition as it has been requested by Senior Honorable Kongo. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Babu Juliana Mugure,
Thank you very much.
Kindly.
specially elected. What is it, Honorable Kamwana?
Unfair when I sit down without saying hi to readers of this great county, and especially when they come from the youth sector. I really adore you. I really love you so much as you go to the next level of making more better decisions in this county. Feel much welcome. Thank you so much.
Babu, proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I also want to take this singular opportunity to congratulate Honorable Sasha, the incoming woman representative for Nyandarua County, for bringing such an important statement to this House. It is true indeed that Nyandarua is leading in the matters of gender-based violence, and as you can hear from across genders, not just the female gender, also the male gender, as explained by Honorable Kamwana. My biggest concern would be to as the executive tries to answer or bring out issues that they have taken in place to make sure that they curb the issue, they also tell us if they have empowered the department that deals with the gender issue, the social service and gender department. They should also tell us if they have allocated the budget to also deal with that issue, because I've looked at the budget, and even as the honorable Kongo was presenting it last week, I really quite didn't get a substantive amount being allocated to that department. So that department really has no good budget to start there. And you know, the staff there clearly are not empowered, you can tell, because if any department doesn't have sufficient budget, then it means that even the staff are not able to really stand up for their department. So my concern really would be for this House, first and foremost, to consider allocating money to that department, so that we can also capacity build the Nyumba Kumi communities that we are talking about, because they are also not empowered. You know, the communities are also not empowered. They think it is normal for a man to beat their wife or the other way around. We need to also empower them to be able to address the issue of stigma, to be able to address the issue of patriarchal issues, because our communities are so male dominated. So we need first to address the issue of budget. That would be my greatest concern, so that we are able to build capacity across board. We also need to and also I want to take this opportunity to welcome the youthful leaders that are in the speakers gallery today, and also say that we also need to have an empowered Department of Youth Services, so that we can also empower the young people out there to be able to be mentors in our schools. Because these days you don't find young people going back to school to talk to young people. So we need to find very creative ways to empower our young people, so that they can go out there and talk to the people in the community, visit schools. Because you realize, last week we were dealing with an issue in our health department. We've received a petition of a young person who was raped and unfortunately killed. Well, they were, you know, it's a story that is still coming to the House, and we are still doing some verification. I wouldn't want to bring the entire story here. But you'll find that A young girl has been raped, a young girl has been murdered. The community is unable to report the matter because of one reason or another. The family is scared, you know, and when you try to even dig deeper, you even wonder why the MCA of that area has still not come out clearly to even address that issue in the dailies. So there's still a number of things that needs to be done. So Sasha, this is a very important motion that you have brought to the House today, considering that also the department has also received, the department of the Committee on Health has also received issues around that. So my final statement would be the honorable members to make a deliberate move to empower our communities. Make a deliberate move to empower the Nyumba Kumi committees. It's a composition of less than 20 people. You can always sit down with them, get them a cup of tea and just talk and try to grasp issues. So I would want to also, request the young people of this county to support Honorable Sasha Wamai. It is clearly evident that the matters of women and gender in general are matters close to her heart, and continue offering her their support. Thank you.
Next order.
Order number 8, motions and bills. Mr. Speaker, sir, under this order, there is a procedural motion to be moved by the Honorable Duncan Githinji Chege.
Honorable Duncan Githinji Chege, Chairperson, Committee on County Public Accounts and Investments. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But kindly, Mr. Speaker, just allow me to delegate this to Honorable Mheshimiwa Waithira. Kindly.
Honorable Waithira, proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, allow me to welcome our guests today, who are our youth leaders from our county. You are most welcome, Honorable leaders. And Honorable Speaker, this reminds me the first time I visited the county assembly, which was the first county assembly immediately after devolution. By then, this assembly used to hold their sittings in a rented place. I don't know whether it was rented or they were just read by the PCA church. That is where we went, and I had the first chance or opportunity to see how deliberations are made in the assembly and how different things are done in the assembly. So I'm proud of you today, having sitting there, having visited this assembly, and I want to assure you that you also have a chance to come from up there to down here and do what you are supposed to do as leaders, represent your people, legislate for them, and do oversight in whatever that is happening within your wards, because you are equal to the task. So you are most welcome. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move a procedural motion. I beg to move the following motion. The first one to the standing order 236, that it says that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee and the reports of audited financial operations of Kabwe, Shauri, Kahoro, Kanyaria, and Gorika Vocational Training Centers for the year ended 30 June 2025, is the report of the House and the requirements in the standing order 50 part 5B that requires the notice of motion be given at least 1 day before the motion appears on the order paper. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I call Honorable Duncan Githinji Chege to second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do second.
I propose the question, which is that pursuant to studying order 236, the motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the reports on audited financial operations of Kangoi, Shauri, Kahoro, Kanyagia, and Gorika Vocational Training Centers for the year ended 30 June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolutions of the House be exempted from the requirements of the Standing Order 55B that requires a notice of motion be given at least 1 day before the motion appears on the order paper. I now put the question, which is that pursuant to Standing Order 236, the motion that this House does adopt the report of the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investments Committee on the reports on audited financial operations of Kagwe, Shauri, Kahoro, Kanyagi, and Gorika Vocational Training Centers for the year ended 30th June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendations therein as the resolutions of the House be exempted from the requirements of the Standing Order 55B that requires a notice of motion be given at least 1 day before the motion appears on the order paper. May those of the similar opinion say aye. Aye. May those of a contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. Clerk, next order.
Under the same order, Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a substantive resolution.
Mr. Speaker, I wish to move the following motion. And first of all, Mr. Speaker, the committee appreciates the support of the Office of the Speaker and the Office of the Clerk for facilitating the committee in undertaking its oversight responsibilities. The committee further acknowledges the cooperation of the Department of Education, Technical Training, Culture, Gender, and Social Protection for providing responses, documentation during the inquiry process. Finally, the committee appreciates the dedication of its members and the Secretariat in reporting this report. Mr. Speaker, the Public Accounts and Investment Committee is established under the Standing Order number 190. This is for the sake of our guests today, of the Nyandarua County Assembly Standing Orders, and is mandated to examine the accounts showing the appropriations of sums voted by the House to meet public expenditure. And the mandate of the committee is to examine the accounts showing appropriation of funds approved by the County Assembly, examine reports of the Auditor General on county public investments and funds, and 3, assess whether the affairs of public entities are managed according to sound financial principles and prudent public finance management practices. The membership of the committee is led by Duncan Gedeji Chege as the chairman. We have Honorable Babu Juliana Mugore as the vice chair. We have Honorable Rusi, Honorable Benson, Honorable Naomi, Honorable Esther Waithera, Honorable Samuel Remui, Honorable Samuel Wainaina Madhu, Honorable Patrick Mohinde Karaoke, Honorable Edinard Wabogo Kengori, and Honorable James Mwagi Gishuki as members, and we have 7 members of the Secretariat. Mr. Speaker, the Office of the Auditor General is established under the Article 229 of the Constitution of Kenya and is mandated to audit and report on the accounts of national and county government entities. And Article 229(8) requires the County Assembly to consider audit reports and take appropriate action. Honorable Speaker, vocational training centers, commonly known as VTCs, and also known as youth polytechnics, are foundational technical institutions established to equip school leavers with practical skills, knowledge, and competencies for employment and self-reliance. And in compiling this report, the methodologies that were used, the committee reviewed the Auditor General's report on the financial statements of the facility. I think there is a mix-up somewhere. And the committee requested written submission from the Department of Education. And then the committee examined the written responses and supporting documents provided. It then conducted meetings to receive oral submissions from the witnesses. And then the committee prepared findings and recommendations for submission to the County Assembly. Honorable Speaker, to start with, the Auditor General first question was non-disclosure of property, plant and equipment. The statement of financial possession reflects a nil balance in respect of property, plant and equipment for Kahoro, Shauri, Kagwe. However, review of the center's records and physical verification revealed various assets including land, buildings, furniture and fittings, computers and other equipment which were in use. In addition, Kagwe Center is built on 2.5 acres of land. However, only an allotment letter was provided for audit review. Similarly, Kanyagia's 12 acres of land donated by PCA Church did not have ownership documents. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the center's nil balance of property, plant and equipment could not be confirmed. The committee found that the committee established that most of the centers had not prepared and maintained asset registers as required under public sector accounting and asset management standards. In view of the foregoing, the committee finds that the nil balances reported under property, plant and equipment are inaccurate and incomplete, and that the management failed to ensure proper asset recognition, documentation and safeguarding of public property. And so the committee recommended that preparation and updating of asset registers. The accounting officer responsible for vocational training shall within 30 days prepare and update comprehensive asset registers for all vocational training centers, detailing all lands, buildings, equipment, furniture, and fittings in accordance with applicable public sector accounting standards. And number 2, amendment of financial statements. Management shall within 30 days revise the financial statement to reflect the correct value of property, plant and equipment, and submit the amended financial statements to the Office of the Auditor General for review. The query number 2 from the Auditor General was unaccredited programs being offered at Shauri and Kagwe VTCs. Review of operations of the center revealed that Kagwe Center was offering ICT, hairdressing and beauty, electrical installations, masonry and plumbing courses that are not being approved by the board, contrary to Section 17(3) of the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Act 2013, which requires prior approval by the board of any program or course of training. The committee findings. The committee considered the management response that application for accreditation had been initiated and proof of payment submitted. However, the committee observed that payment of accreditation does not confer legal authority to commence training programs. And so the committee recommended that 1, immediate suspension of unapproved courses, regularization of program approval, recovery of irregular capitation funds, and administrative accountability measures.
The chief officer responsible for vocational training shall institute disciplinary or administrative action against officers who authorize the commencement of unapproved programs for failure to comply with statutory requirements under the Technical and Vocational Education Training Act 2013 and compliance of monitoring framework. The department responsible for vocational training shall establish a mandatory compliance register listing all approved courses for institution and update it annually to ensure that no course is offered without documented approval from Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority, that is TVETA. And protection of trainee interests. The management shall ensure that all trainees currently enrolled in unapproved programs are formally transitioned to accredited centers or accredited programs without financial prejudice to the trainees. There was understated revenue in Shauri. The statement of financial performance reflects fees from students amounting to 71,000 as disclosed in Note 10 to the financial statement. However, review of the student ledger and supporting document reflected that the college's total invoice revenue from students amounted to 214,500, resulting in an understatement of 143,500. The management response, Honorable Speaker, was that the variance was a result of trade receivables, 143,500 from trainees' fees balances, and provided a schedule indicating the fees balance. And the recommendation was immediate revenue reconciliation and financial statement adjustment, strengthening of revenue recording controls, and accountability for revenue understatement. Then there was a question on improper board composition and lack of controls, failure to properly constitute board management, non-compliance with reporting template, failure to deduct PPRA levy, lack of internal audit function, accountant and internal policies in Kanyagia VTC. The committee found that the management failed to comply with the prescribed financial reporting templates, thereby compromising uniformity, comparability, and accuracy in financial reporting. And so the committee recommended that proper constitution of the Board of Management, the CEC member responsible for education shall within 60 days ensure the proper constitution and gazettement of a compliant Board of Management for Kanyagia vocational training in accordance with applicable laws governing vocational training centers. Number 2, establishment of internal control and staffing structures. The accounting officer shall within 90 days ensure the deployment of qualified accountant to Kanyagia Vocational Training Center, establish an internal audit function, and develop and approve key internal policies including financial management, procurement, and asset management policies. In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the issues arising from the audit are not merely technical lapses, but point to deeper weaknesses in oversight, discipline, and adherence to established standards within the vocational training centers. The committee is particularly concerned that basic controls well within the capacity of the management to implement were either ignored or insufficiently enforced. What is evident is not lack of framework, but a failure to apply them consistently and responsibly. Public institutions entrusted with resources and the training of young people must operate with a higher degree of diligence, foresight, and accountability. The committee therefore underscores the need for a firm administrative action, strengthened supervision by the responsible department, and sustained follow-up to ensure that corrective measures are not only initiated but fully implemented. Going forward, Honorable Speaker, compliance must become the norm rather than the exception. The committee will continue to closely monitor progress and expect timely demonstration of corrective action. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I call Honorable Duncan Gidej Chege to second.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I do second.
Thank you so much, honorable members. The motion has duly been moved, and I propose that pursuant to standing order, that this House does adopt, pursuant to standing order 236, that this House does adopt the report of committee of the County Public Accounts and Investment Committee on report of the financial operations of Kagui, Shauri, Kahoro, Kanyagia, and Ngoriko vocational training centers for the year ending 30th June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendation therein as the resolution of this House. Yes, proceed, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Committee on County Public Accounts and Investments for this report. And Mr. Speaker, I want to point a few things on this report, especially noting that, Honorable Speaker, that vocational trainings are key functions of the county, county governments pursuant to Schedule 4 of our Constitution. And Mr. Speaker, going through the report of the PICPAC, especially when you see the committee recommendations and the findings that they are uncredited, there are courses that are being taught that are not accredited. That means they cannot be certified, and I wonder how these students will be able to use their course to prove their employability. Mr. Honorable Speaker, I think this is the time that the county take very serious engagement with the vocational training centers, especially because this is the equipping centers for our youth. And especially the courses that are being taught, I believe they should be compliant with the county's economic activities. I suggest that even as we approve this report, Honorable Speaker, I think it is the time we really inquire into what our TVETs all our vocational trainings are training to our young men and women. We have 16 vocational training centers in Nyandarua, and Geta Vocational Training Center is the 17th. Being a key function of a county government, I believe every ward should have. Actually, in the Constitution, it says there should be village polytechnics. That means every village should have a vocational training center. Honorable Speaker, if we are serious about engaging our youth and then skilling them, making them to have skills that will make them employable, I think it is the high time we monitor our vocational training centers, monitor what is being taught there, monitor the courses that are being taught, whether they are relevant to their employability. And I believe if we do that, we'll be able to focus on our functions. And I believe when the Controller of Budget cautions us, while we would also like to issue bursaries to our secondary schools and our tertiary institutions, I believe the caution from the control of budget that we focus on vocational training centers should be taken seriously and positively, because when we talk of having our youth who are leaving secondary schools or colleges and they are not skilled, and owing to the Vision 2030 that Kenya will be industrialized by year 2030, then I wonder, where shall we get the workforce? Where shall we get the manpower? So I believe, Honorable Speaker, it is an eye-opener that whatever is happening in our vocational training centers should be taken very seriously, should be monitored, and I believe we should actually be hands-on to know exactly what our children are being taught. And they should be fully equipped so that we have to contribute to the labor of our country. From our county, Nyandarua, we are able to contribute the highest number of skilled manpower. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Honorable Matimu, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's laughable, Madam Speaker, that we become a department that's not following the law. And I really want to thank the committee led by the chair that they were able to get the gray areas that is really ailing our vocational training colleges. Madam Speaker, the County Government Act, Section 64(1), states very clearly that a person shall not be appointed to hold a public office in an acting capacity unless that person satisfies all the prescribed qualifications for holding that office. Madam Speaker, here we have a case whereby we have several members or managers in our TVETs who are acting, but they don't qualify for those positions, Madam Speaker. Again, the law is very clear that one should only act within a period of 30 to 6 months, Madam Speaker. It's so unfortunate that we are finding there are people who are acting for more than 6 months. I really thank the committee because they've come up with recommendations that the County Public Service Board should ensure that if someone qualifies, let them confirm these people. If they don't qualify, Madam Speaker, let them get people who are qualified for this position. The other one is what the Deputy Speaker just mentioned. Madam Speaker, it's a big abuse to our youths that a facility has not been accredited to train our youths on some technical courses. But you go ahead to invite them to a technical, to a vocational training college, make them sit in that class for the entire period of time, knowing very well that you're not accredited to do or to allow them to sit for exams, Madam Speaker. I think it's a high time, and I really thank the committee because of this recommendation, because it's very clear, and I hope it will be followed by the department, that we shall not have any vocational training college offering uncredited courses going forward. And if they want to offer these courses, I think the law again is very clear. Let them apply for accreditation. Once they are accredited, let them go ahead and ensure that by that particular time they will be free to offer these courses. The other one, Madam Speaker, is something that has really caught my eye. That we have some of our vocational training colleges that are collecting fees from students. Once they collect, instead of banking these monies, The money is on their books as a school, but when it comes to the statements from what we've just received, like a school here, the only amount that they submitted was 71,000. But on their ledger book, it shows that they had collected 214,500 shillings. Where is this balance going, Madam Speaker? This is something that calls for us as a county to wake up and ensure that we ensure that monies collected from even our vocational training colleges are followed to the letter. That the monkey business going around these vocational training colleges comes to an end, Madam Speaker. With that, I really support the entire report. And I would humbly request through your office, Madam Speaker, that you help through our clerkship, let them have a tracker, because I really thank the committee. You've come up with very good recommendation with timelines. We have timelines within 15 days, 30 days, 60 days. Let's have a tracker on all recommendations that you've come up with as PICPAC to ensure that they are followed. So that, Madam Speaker, there will not just be a recommendation on books, but no one will do a follow-up. So I humbly request that the clerkship will help us to ensure that by the end of the day, we are able to follow up on all the recommendation that has been effected or has been done by the committee. With that, I support.
Thank you so much. We have two members on their feet, but we proceed with the one that the mic is on. Honorable Kongo, the honorable member for Wanjoy Ward, and the incoming member of parliament for Kipipiri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if you look at this report, and I know you are a member of PICPAC, so you are very versed with this report very well, it begs the question whether the county government is ready to implement the function of the VTC and equally the ECDs. I've been one of the proponents that have been saying we need to do an audit of devolution according to Schedule 4 and ask ourselves, is this sitting pretty where it's supposed to be? Or it is high time we tell the county government to release this function to the national government? Because looking at this report, we don't have vocational training centers in Nyandarua. Critically, there isn't. There's nothing we are talking about here, because if you look at the conditions and the environment in which we are subjecting our people that they are going for training, then it's a waste of time and resources for our parents and for the youths and the people and the trainees who go to these vocational training centers. Madam Speaker, sometimes I ask myself simple questions. When we talk of asset register and titles, who is supposed to produce the titles? How much does it, or how long should it take to own a title for a public institution that is owned by the county government? We have the RAD department, we have the registrar who can, the RAD department can liaise, and within 90 days. The other day I was looking for a title for a kettle dip in my area. It only took 90 days and we had the title. So how comes 13 years? It is not even 13 years, I think almost 15 years down the line after devolution. We have our institutions which do not have titles. That is negligence, and this is a recipe for future problems. One of my VTCs that have been mentioned here is Kahoro. Kahoro is in my area, Wanjohi, at Demi. We have had conflict of flood there between the neighbors, the neighboring community, and the institution. Yet it is an issue that can be resolved by the county through the RAD department. They are not willing to do it. We keep talking about it day after day. So I don't know whether we are ready to do this function as a county or not. The other issue, you know, sometimes I don't know, Honorable Madam Speaker, how to balance. And I would like Honorable Steve to hear this. When we come here and say that we scrap those courses that are not credited, I'm looking at a situation where we are going to disfranchise most of the trainees in these cities. One of the requirements for accreditation is that a class should have a minimum of 25 trainees. If you go at most of our VCT, rarely will you get a class of over 15. So what we are saying, in simple terms, we are going to close down most of these facilities. We had suggested in past that we need to have VCT that are specializing in certain skills instead of offering everything, because we are not getting trainees, enough trainees, and because of we don't have enough instructors. For example, if a Orokarao vocational training is there, it should deal with motor vehicle engineering or mechanical, whatever. It should specialize in that, and every other person in Nyandarua, from engineer, from where, should know that Orokarao is specializing in that, and we equip that specialty so that they are given sufficient, and then even the exam is done at that institution. It's accredited at that institution. When you go to Kahoro, they specialize in a certain skill. Instead of offering 7, you have only 1 manager and 2 instructors. You don't have equipment. You don't have facilities. We had indicated in the past and in the second assembly, we had moved a motion in this house that we need this institution to specialize, such that a student who wants to do a certain course will know this is the best VCT that I can be able to attend. Otherwise, we are facing a situation whereby these things are going to close down. Because the other issue now is, when they offer the courses, we allow them to do exams in accredited centers. But then even as we do that, Madam Speaker, for example, if you allow those students maybe who have been taught in a certain center that is not accredited to do an exam in an accredited, I beg my question about myself, did they get proper training in the first place so that they can go and sit for exam in an accredited center? So if you look at what is happening, when you hear that a center has 71,000 for fees, and you are paying 15 per year, that tells you it only have 4 or 5 students. Is that worthy to be a center? If you look at the data, Madam Speaker, we get 34 million capitation for VCT centers. It is 15,000 per student. If you divide, you are going to get that in Nyandarua, the whole of Nyandarua, we have around 2,000, around slightly above 2,000 students in our VTCs. But how many are they? They are over 20. They are 16. So is it worth? Because it's an average of 100. And if you take the big chunk that has been taken by Miragini, then it tells you all the others are not worthy and they cannot economically sustain themselves through the school fees that the trainees are supposed to pay. So it is an issue of policy direction as a county. And I take this matter back to the executive. We need to sit down as a county, deal with a certain policy and say, can we have one major well-equipped VCT per sub-county? First of all, we start there. Such that I know when I go to Kipipiri, I'll go to Miharati, and in Miharati, we are going to get masonry, we are going to get carpenters, and they are well-equipped and well-trained. Instead of having all these kind of centers that are offering nothing, half-baked trainees, and let me tell you, the economy of this country, these are the technical people that are supposed to. This is where we get the plumbers, this is where we get the electricians, that is where we get everybody. We have seen what is happening with our affordable housing. The other day we were complaining, making noise that these people are getting people outside Nyandarua. Where would they have get people if this is the kind of VCT that we have in our county? So it is high time we think about the policy issue, and I hope maybe the committee on education is around. As a house, we deal seriously on the issue of policy. Let's start by having one VCT per sub-county. Let's equip them. When you come here and say, simply, we don't have equipment for training, yet we are expected to do an exam. So what? The most dangerous thing you can do is to release people who you perpetuate to think that you have trained and they are not trained. And then you go out there, give them job, give them your house to build, and after 1 year, the building comes collapsing. It's very serious, Madam Speaker, and I hope maybe when this matter comes to the implementation committee, will be able to juggle it around because I'm a member there and suggest for a policy issue and look the way we can be able to streamline our VCT education within our Nyandarua County. Thank you.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Who do you wish to inform, Honorable Matimu?
Madam Speaker, my point of information goes to my dear brother, Honorable Kongo, and the entire House. I think this is an issue, Madam Speaker. I remember you were seated in that committee on the issue of 25 students. I think the TVET law, or to be exact, the TVET Act or regulations does not limit or the 25 student per class is not a requirement, but the requirement is the ability to train. You get the tools, teachers, and space. That's the requirement. So what we are requesting is we let them get accredited for them to offer these courses. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Let's proceed to the chairperson in our implementation committee so that you can also note, because pursuant to Standing Order 19, you're given mandates now to follow through the recommendations and the reports of this House. So proceed with that in mind.
Thank you so much, Honorable Madam Speaker. Thank you once again, Honorable Speaker, because you have been able to quickly recognize that I'm the chairman for the Implementation Committee. And Honorable Kongo, who has just spoken, is a member. And thank you so much for reiterating that we are going to look into this matter as we look forward to the implementation process of such an important industry, if I may call it, or a directorate, or even a department for that matter. Honorable Speaker, I could not go out of this assembly when I found in the order paper that there was something to do with the VCTs. Why? Honorable Speaker, when we talk matters to do with education in a county government, I think this is where we should put all our efforts. This is where we should put our finances or our resources with the matters to do with education, because it has been entrenched in the Constitution that this is one of the mandate of the devolved systems. But Honorable Speaker, most of the time, and it happens here in our county, that you find we dwell in other sectors of education. The basic education, this is where we are putting a lot of finances, and especially when, with a lot of respect, we give a lot of bursaries to those institutions that do not dwell with the county matters. Honorable Speaker, when you compare, for example, the other sector of our mandate, that is the ECDs, although the county government was not able to clarify the number of EDs we have when we had another kind of audit in the Senate, but I know it is more than 500. Pair 500 and now there are 17. The ones that are mentioned here are 16, but we are informed by our Deputy Speaker that there is a new kid that has been born in Geta, which is true. I can remember as a few weeks ago, the governor was there to launch a new vocational training center in that ward. I want to disagree a little with Honorable Kongo that maybe we do not need these facilities at in mathematics and project management, but how if he had a technical course, he would be a well-baked citizen who can be able to venture anywhere. If not, even it is at his home.
Speaker, point of order. Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
I have to grant that point of order. So please have your seat, Honorable Kamon.
Honorable Speaker, I want to ask whether Honorable Member is in order when he wants to reply, because I never did a technical course. I'm half-baked. Maybe you need to elaborate what is insinuating.
Please substantiate, Honorable Kamon.
Honorable Speaker, with a lot of rest, that's not what I wanted to mean. If you can be able to go back a little, you can be able to see the statements according to the grammar that I had said there before. Maybe the word half-baked had come before. I had mentioned him, But I said it's not necessary to say that you have it. Be able to know the other technical courses that he has been able to train, so that in future, Honorable Speaker.
Please, let's not proceed. You can clearly see now you are raising temperatures, and we have quite a number of reports to process in this House. So, Honorable Esther, do you really have to give it, or we rest that matter at this point?
I just wanted Honorable Kamona to tell us whether every member or every Kenyan, apart from having those other courses, we should all have a technical course, and should we be reporting to this House so that maybe he can have that information?
Honorable Speaker, let me go back to where I had left as I tried to answer the question that has been, or the matter that has been raised by Honorable Member, Honorable Waidera. Some times ago, when His Excellency, the late President, Honorable Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi was the President, he had come with a policy that every student, before you join the university, you go through a rigorous training course with the National Youth Service. And most probably before you join university, at least you have what I had said, do it yourself. Whether it is a bakery, whether it is a electric kind of something. And it's only that that policy has not been followed to the letter, and we had the issue of funding such that the government had to drop that kind of an initiative. But I was saying that we can be able to emulate from other developed countries, and especially the Asian tigers, who have this policy, or even the United States of America, whereby it encourages every student, maybe before to join formal job employment, at least to do something for the government, and especially in the areas of military or the technical fields. But for purposes of time, Honorable Madam Speaker, I was saying that if the government can be able to put a lot of finances in these institutions, we can be able at least to have a quick results that can be able to change the way we are doing our economies, and especially in the fields of technical areas where we know that is where now the economy can be able to be outgunned, and we can be able to see a lot of quick progress happening in those areas. Honorable Speaker, as I finish, I wanted to say that although we have been able to hear a few VCTs that have been mentioned by the report of the control of budget, but as in their recommendation, we can be able to see they had recommended whereby the recommendation, for example, the first one, the second one, cuts across all the facilities that we have in the county. But I want to say that it is a great shame when you walk to those most of the facilities. For example, where I come from, that is Gadara Ward, has been a lot of improvements in terms of infrastructure that is happening at North Kinagope vocational training centers. But when you go to their workshops, you are going to see that the facility is underfunded, very, very poor workshops, whereby we have even better workshops that are in high schools. For example, if you go to Nyandarua High School, you can be able to see the workshops that are there for the technical training. They are better than most of the workshops that you can find in our VCTs. If you go to Jabini Boys High School, you can be able to see they have a very good workshop for the drawing class and for the woodwork class that are state of the art as compared to vocational training centers that should not happen. As I finish, Honorable Speaker, let me tell you, because I'm one person who has been able to get training from both the formal and the technical courses, that all the time when I think of joining an institution to go and learn a technical course, I don't find any in the county that I can be able to join because of lack of facilities, lack of good workshops, and just to mention that we do not even have the skills with the instructors, such that, for example, if you go to Kinago Vocational Training Center, you are going to find that there are only 3 people who are qualified, vis-a-vis the number of skills or the courses that are given there. So let us try and put a lot of effort, or to put a lot of facilities or even resources to these vocational training centers, and we are going to allow our students to go there. What is happening is that there is a lot of students going to other counties to go and look for better skills that are not offered here. We can be able to mitigate that by only funding those facilities.
Available is not affordable to everyone. What should we do then? The department should relook back into their mandate and support the VTCs fully. Let them be fully capitated so that we can get enough enrollments in these colleges or in these village polytechnics. Another member said that every village should have a VTC. Yes, I support that. It may not be necessary in every village, but at least let's have one VTC college per ward. And I also support what Honorable Kongo has said, that there should be specialization of courses in every VTC. Yes, exactly, that is what should happen. We should know that in Olkarau, if you go to Olkarau, there are certain courses that you'll find there which you'll not find in Gedafai, let's say, or in another ward. A certain ward is specializing in this course, while the other one is specializing in another one, so that there can be full utilization of our resources and so that we can have enough instructors in each and every VTC and offering what every VTC should offer. When it comes to accreditation, it is very, very unfair to our students having gone to a certain VTC and putting all our parents' efforts, our monies, our times, only to find out later that the course that is being undertaken there is not fully accredited. That means that even after this course or after learning, or after that student taking all their time learning, put all effort in all trainings and whatever that is required, eventually that student will not be certified, which means that student is not ready for employment or is not employable. So, Honorable Speaker, I support every point that these members have said, apart from the point that we should all take technical courses, which has come from Honorable Kamwana, but since he listed the matter, it's okay that if one gets a chance to take or to undertake a course, a technical course, it is very, very important for us in our lives, not necessarily for employment, but just equip yourself with a certain course. Like now, Honorable Speaker, you can take embroidery course. We love wearing or buying embroidered clothes. So just take that one. At least you'll get some money here from Oheshimu and from the members of the counties by offering your services. I shall also take beauty or any other course that goes in that line, or even plumbing. I know Honorable Matimu shall give me a chance to work in his plot, and I learned some coins, some extra coins. That is a side hustle, which is okay. So, Honorable Speaker, I thank every member for supporting us as a committee, and we task the Department of Education to take their mandate fully, let them fully support these VTCs, and let them fully capitate them so that we can get value for our money, and we can do what we are mandated to do. And I move on, Honorable Speaker.
Fantastic. I just wish to inform the House that I have also done a technical course on catering, so I am okay. I think you should also do one, Esther, and also our visitors at the Executive Gallery.
Honorable Speaker, I've taken one in beauty and fashion. Thank you.
Fantastic. I thank you so much. That motion has very well been deliberated and debated by honorable members. Mine is to thank you for your commitment. And now I wish to put the question, honorable member, that this House does adopt the report of the auditor of the Committee on Public Accounts and Investment on the report of the audited financial operations of Kagui Shauri, Kahoro, Kanyagia, and Gorika Vocational Training Centers for the year ending 30th June 2025 as a report of the House and the recommendation therein as the resolution of this House. Will as many as of a similar opinion say aye? Those of the contrary say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk, next order.
Madam Speaker, we've exhausted the business as indicated in the morning session's order paper.
That is very well, thank you. Having exhausted the business of this sitting, then let's convene in the afternoon at 2:30. Thank you so much.